Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome back, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa, and this is North Star Energy Healing. And today we are doing a reading for the sign of Cancer for the first 2 weeks of August. I typically post every week, but I am doing a 2-week spread or message because I need to take a little bit of time off for myself to get a few things done. So for August, we may only have 2 readings, and then I'll get back to my weekly readings after that. Okay, so this is going to be posted on August 1st for August 1 to 15. So the first couple of weeks, the 1st to the 15th. We are using the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards, and I'm using my Pendragon Red Dragon deck, so a little bit of an Arthurian theme going on here, and then my kind of whimsical Oracle deck that I picked up a while ago. So we're going to use those. Now, what's going to be going on these first couple weeks of August, you may ask yourself. Well, on the 8th, we have the Lionsgate portal, 8-8. It is around, the energies of Lionsgate are around from about July 28th to August 12th, but the peak is August 8th. This is when the Earth, the Sun, and Sirius line up, okay, creating a big amount of energy. This is the time to actually set your boldest, your biggest intentions. What do you want to happen for the next month, 3 months, 6 months, even the next year between each portal of Lionsgate? Number 8 is the number of mastery, infinity, abundance, and it's doubled on August 8th. Also, in the first couple of weeks, on the 12th, you have the new moon in Leo. So there is just going to be a big amount of energies of boldness, of strutting your stuff, of feeling your oats, you may say. So these first couple weeks are going to be amazing and fantastic for the energies that are around with the Lionsgate portal and the new moon in Leo. Okay, let's get right to it and see what the card is that the Wisdom of Avalon deck gave you, my beautiful Cancers. The Wind Fairy, number 29. That is an 11. 11 is another powerful master number. First 2 weeks of August for you Cancers. The Wind Fairy, thoughts, words, intellectual analysis. Now, we just came off that full moon in Aquarius where it was talking about our intellectual, analytical selves taking over. Okay, so it looks like for you Cancers, this may bleed into August, right? Thoughts, words, intellect, and analysis. This could be getting in the way of your heart space, your emotional decision making, right? So you're going to have to be careful about that with this Wind Fairy energy. A lot of thoughts, a lot of words, a lot of analysis, a lot of intellect may be kind of ruling you in these first 2 weeks of August. Now, that could be for many, many reasons, right? Sometimes when we get an emotional upset, we tend to try to push that aside, right? And just focus on something else because we may not want to deal with the emotions that are coming up. Maybe the emotions that the Leo new moon is bringing up, the emotions that Lionsgate is bringing up. And you may be leaning towards more of the just how things look on paper and checking off boxes and kind of shutting out the emotions. And that's not what we want to do. Okay, Cancers? So let's face the camera down and see what the tarot has to add to that. The Wind Fairy is a very beautiful card. It looks very whimsical, but she has her eyes closed and she's thinking. So this could be a time that you're really going to have to be careful about overanalyzing things, my beautiful Cancers. Just don't overanalyze and make sure that you remember to feel into things, feel into the decisions. Same thing we were talking about on the last reading for the full moon in Aquarius and those energies that it was bringing in, right? All right, let's see. What do you have for my beautiful Cancers for, oh my gosh, Hanging Man. This is being comfortable in your own skin. It's seeing something in a different perspective. That could be that hint not to be over analyzing these first couple weeks of August, okay? So yeah, you're going to have to really think about that. Then you have the Five of Swords and the Queen of Swords. More talking, right? Thoughts. Swords are communication. Wow, so that's building right on that Wind Fairy card. King of Cups, the Moon, and the King of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, lots of court cards. All right, let's take these in the order in which they came. Wow, Cancers. Okay, so building on thoughts, words, intellectual analysis. You have the Hanging Man. This is number 12, which is a 3. That's creation and collaboration. Now, the story of these cards, this deck has a story that's a little bit different than the traditional tarot. It's a Welsh story. And in this, what happens here is he starts out as the Fool, right? And when he gets here to card number 12, he sees something really shiny and he wonders what's in the bowl. So you can see the bowl is kind of gold. He jumps up and grabs the bowl and he's stuck there. He cannot let go, right? So in this deck, this can be a little bit of stuck energy, right? You're stuck in one place. You can't seem to go forward. It could have something to do with work or a relationship or something like that. You just feel stuck. You almost feel like your feet are cemented where they are. And whatever it is that you're trying to do, you just feel a little bit stuck about it. In order to break this, you're going to have to see it in a different perspective, number one. Number two, you're going to have to get comfortable with yourself, okay? You're going to have to take a hard look at what exactly is going on. Why am I stuck here? What choices have I made that have gotten me to here? And how can I make a different choice to move on from this stuck energy? Stuck place, stuck feeling, right? And then you have the Five of Swords. So in this card, it's depicted there are people here. She has 3 swords with her, right? 5s are change. Now, sometimes this card is called the Winning at All Costs card. And she has those 3 swords, and there are people walking away. So what has happened that has caused her possibly to lose these friendships, right? This is just what I'm feeling for this card for this reading, right? Winning at all costs is never a good thing, right? We don't want to push things so far that we alienate people, right? And this could definitely have something to do with the stuck energy, right? You sometimes, and especially in Leo season and around this time, we may feel like it's my way or the highway. So Cancers, you're really going to have to watch out for that these first 2 weeks of August, of getting into that mindset of not being flexible because you're overanalyzing and only seeing the intellectual. Right after this, you have the Queen of Swords. This is the truth teller, right? This is the person that pulls no punches. She's basically giving out her order or saying whatever, and her hand is like, well, okay, you know what? This is the way it is. This is the way it is. This is the way it has to be. What I'm saying is true. What I'm saying is that this is the situation. So, yeah, it feels like to me, what I'm feeling from my guides is that you're getting into a little bit of this energy where you're just being so matter of fact and analytical, and this is the way it is. You're not budging. You're being very stubborn about something, and it's going to be different for everyone, right? And when you're doing that, you're alienating people. You're not seeing it from all perspectives. You're not being comfortable. Now, sometimes we do this out of fear, right? Sometimes we're afraid for something new, or we're afraid to try something new, trust someone new, whatever it is. And so we're just kind of drawing a line in the sand. And that is not how things can flow, right? That's making the energy stuck. So in comes the King of Cups energy. Here is your water sign energy, right? Flow, love, nurturing, right? So maybe in the first part of August, there's a lot of issues with the stuck feeling, the feeling you can't go forward, the feeling you have to stick to the rules, the feeling like you are right and you're kind of dismissing what the other person's opinion is. So the King of Cups comes on the scene with a masculine, loving, nurturing energy. And this King of Cups sometimes is bored with it. So in this particular reading, I'm saying he's totally bored with your line in the sand. Like he's like, okay, that's enough of that. We need to move on, make different choices, make better choices. So this energy is kind of influencing you to get away from that black and white line in the sand, I'm right, you're wrong energy and feeling. More water sign energy with the moon. This is Pisces energy, which is the most romantic card in the deck. I mean, the most romantic sign in the zodiac. What the heck? And this is number, I think it's 18. It's hard to read the numbers on these cards, and unfortunately I don't have them all memorized. So the moon. Hold on. I just needed to look at this a little bit closer. Yes, it's number 18, which is a 9. 9s are accomplishment. So you see in this card, the owl is flying over the lake, seeing his shadow, seeing the moon's reflection, but his wings could be blocking this. Now, about the moon card, there are things that you don't see yet. Things that are coming that you don't see because they're kind of hidden. This can also be what you dream about at night. So your dreams could be very important right now, Cancer. So you may want to have something ready. I always say this, have a journal, a pencil, a pen, whatever it is, ready so that you can get up and write something down if your dream feels significant, okay? But, it's Pisces energy, it's romantic, loving energy, and it's also those other things that you may not see right now. Yeah, and you may not see it because you've got to let go of the black and white, of the line in the sand. You got to change your perspective, right? Then you have another king, the King of Pentacles. This is the king of abundance. Remember how we were talking about 8-8 Lionsgate, number 8, the sign of mastery, infinity, abundance, wealth, right? So this king has amassed everything that he needs, and he's now taking a break. He's sitting down in a field of flowers, wheat, what have you, with his beautiful cloak, crown that it looks to me like it's a peach tree. So, but the fruit tree behind him, this resembles that he has finally gotten to the point where he is comfortable, right? He is comfortable with what he has. You don't see a castle in this card because you don't necessarily need a castle to love and appreciate what you have and what you've built, right? So, yeah, it feels like the beginning of August. There may be a lot of analyzing going on, intellectual things going on, and then you kind of ease into the more softer, loving, flowing, nurturing energies of appreciation. So for you, my beautiful Cancers, August may get off to a bit of a rocky start, but I feel like as you get more into the energy of love, which again harkens back to the last week's readings, I think things will kind of open up and you'll feel a little bit better. So just remember that, right? That the first week of August may feel like you're being rigid. So pay attention. This whimsical oracle deck, your card is Nature's Voice. Oh yeah, I remember these. Have a hard time focusing. Let me see. Nature's Voice. The forest is the first poet. Listen to its verses. The forest is the first poet. Listen to its verses. And this kind of reminds me of what's going on with this King of Pentacles. how he's just sitting there. It's not the forest, so to speak, but he's sitting there relaxing, enjoying what is around him. So this card that you're ending with in this reading is basically saying, to me, what it's saying is like when you walk in the forest or by a stream or a lake or anything, you do feel more calmness, right? So going from this rigidity to all of this calmness toward, the 8th to the 15th, we might say, right? Well, Cancers, please give it a like, a thumbs up, a share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm almost up to 900 subscribers. I'm very excited about that. Just be mindful, right, of the beginning of August and not being too rigid. Getting more into your loving, nurturing side. Remember about your dreams, okay? Remember to love yourself, be yourself, right? See the different perspective. Okay, I'll be back on August 14th. Peace and kindness every single day. I love you all.